social and political commentary from a Christian male perspective.
Grace and peace, everybody. Good morning to you. Woo, you saw the thumbnail, so you saw the title, so you know what we're about to do. We've been talking about this Dolton mayoral race for some time. And with the independent candidate, Cassandra Hobson Jordan, we've talked a lot about her as a mayor and her policies, lack thereof, her decorum, all that kind of stuff like that. But there hasn't been a lot of discussion about her running mate, the trustee, Denasha Harrison. Now, I've been asking, what are their policies? What do they believe? What do they think about certain topics and certain ideas? And we haven't really, Cassie has not really fleshed out a lot of that. But today, or rather last night, Denasha Harrison on his podcast, just kind of went in and had a stream of consciousness and was really talking for quite some while and really sharing some ideas. I want to talk about this and look into it because I don't think it doesn't do exactly what I was hoping, which is like give some policies. What's your philosophy on things? He does give you some ideas that he has, and I want to talk about those. Shout out to him. I still think he's a good guy. I think he's really a good person, probably. He seems like somebody I would like to sit down and watch a Bears game with and eat some Chicago stuffed pizza. Even though I know Chicagoans don't really eat it like that. It's a tourist thing. But I'm a tourist. So I'm going to go up there and get some when I go up there next week. So if I get my hands on some, don't be surprised. But I think Denasha Harrison is really a decent guy. Just from my perception of him, he doesn't seem like he's somebody that I got to look behind, double check and triple check. But I do want to talk about his ideas that he shares today. So that's really what I want to focus on. And in the second part of this morning podcast, I'm going to do something real different. I'm going to broach into a conversation I don't rarely get into, which is I'm going to get into this heat, this smoke, this kerfuffle that Claire Huxtable stirred up recently, Felicia Rashad. And I want to talk about that. I want to talk about what Felicia Rashad said about modern women and why everybody's up in a tizzy about it. So it's going to be an interesting conversation. I'm looking forward to rapping with y'all, and I want to hear your thoughts on it as well. What I'm going to do first of all is I'm going to bring in Brother Denasha. I did speed this up. I want to give you a little bit of heads up. I did speed it up, and I would greatly appreciate it if y'all let me know if it's sped up too much or because he talks real cool. He's a cool, calm, laid back kind of guy, doesn't talk super fast. I would love to see Denasha and Tiffany Henyard debate. That would probably be funny. That would probably be a hoot. But he just seems like a really laid back fellow. So again, I want to make sure it's real clear. I got no smoke for Denasha. I think he's probably definitely the better of the two candidates. And I think he probably would make a good trustee, truth be told. I think he would probably make a really good trustee. I just want him to flesh out some things. And he does share some ideas that I think we need to kind of iron out, if that makes sense. I'll stop when they get there. But I'm going to give this a second to tease it out.
I would like to dedicate this show to my mother and my father. Rest in peace, Gregory Lee Harrison. And I thank God that my mother's still in the land of the living. Ophelia Harrison Harrison Robinson. She was on the show before. If you go back through looking at my shows, you'll see that my mother was on the show as well. So I'd like to dedicate this show to you all. And I'd like to dedicate the show to those who were in my tribe, in my circle, for those who've raised me, supported me, and shown me love throughout my life. So I appreciate it. And there's a reason why I'm dedicating the show to Greg and Fee. As you all who know me know that's what they were called. I'm dedicating the show to them because they taught me well how to respect my elders. They taught me well how to steer clear from the BS that a lot of people try to put out there and put on your shoulders. And in spite of all the things that are going on out there in the world, there's a lot of things that we have to still maintain and be a part of when it comes to the good of it all and the purpose for what we do. If it were not for Greg and Fee, you would be seeing a different me. If it was not for the circles that have continued to support me and prop me up throughout my lifetime, and for those who know, and I've said it over and over again, for those who know what we've been through as a family, who know what we've been through as individuals, you all know our story. So if it had not been for you all, for those morning phone calls, If it had not been for those that continue to support the Harrison family and continue to support me, Denasha Harrison, I don't know where I would be. And honestly, I don't know where a lot of other people dealing with me would be as well. What do I mean by that? So many people try to get you outside of your character. No matter what you do, no matter what you say, no matter how you say it, there's a lot of people out there that just will not be for you for no reason at all, only but to put roadblocks in your way, only for the obstruction of it all. No rhyme or reason. You don't have to do anything wrong to anybody for people to not rock with you or your vision or whatever that is. It's not about you doing anything wrong. It's about the motive that people have. So I'm thankful for the people in my circle who have continued to encourage me, motivate me to move forward. The election's coming up, 2025, April 1st. I've had people tell me, because of who I'm on a ticket with, tell me, man, I don't understand why you partnered up with this individual. Your political career is already over before it even starts. Things of that nature. People who won't show their face, or people who refuse to give their name, but they're quick to make a comment.
Hey, show my
for those
face.
who know me, you know I've been in politics for a long time, way before I came back to the Midwest, way before I moved into Dolton.
Okay, here's where I wanted to start the discussion. He says something here. He just said it. I'm going to back up just a little smidgen and let him say it again. He says, I've been in politics for a long time before I came to Dolton. Okay. He never explains what it was, though. Again, I'm not saying that you can't be in politics, but he doesn't explain it. And pay attention, write it down when he says it, what he did before he came to Dolton. Because he talks a lot about what he tried to do once he came to Dolton, but he never says what he did before. And the only reason I'm bringing this up is because I don't feel like Denasha is giving a full view of what it is that he has done and why it is and what he believes. So if you like comic books, okay, I like comic books. There's the sketch artist will sketch out what the picture should look like, and then an artist will come through and add the muscular and the structures and all that kind of stuff like that. And then there's a line artist that comes in and puts in all the black lines, and then there's a colorist who comes in and colors it all. There's a lot of different people that participate in the process, and I think he's doing a great job of giving us a sketch and maybe just the artist, but he's not the line artist and not the color. And so we need that color. We need to fill us all in, give us a full picture, because there's only 5 more days until election. Give us a reason why we should vote for you, Denasha.
Things of that nature. People who won't show their face, or people who refuse to give their name, but
I'm showing my face.
Comment.
I'll make a comment.
For those who know me, you know I've been in politics for a long time, way before I came back to the Midwest, way before I moved into Dolton. Okay. I've been a part of politics for a long time. And even before I decided to put my hat in any ring concerning politics, I serve my country, which means a lot to me. And it means a lot to those who I've served with and those who I've served for. I don't owe anyone an explanation as to why my life is continuing to unfold the way it is. I invite you into my life. I invite you to be a part of my story, because I'm not on the BS that you see a lot of other people on. I'm not putting things out there simply because it means that I'll get a lot of likes or a lot of looks or a lot of comments. A lot of people question my motive for running for trustee in Dolton, Illinois for 2025. I get that a lot of people are passionate.
So he's going to say this right here. And I don't know Denasha. Again, Denasha Harrison, I got no smoke for you. I just don't think that you are fully aware of the day and age that we're in. Social media is a part of the campaign process. It is now a part of the vetting process. Hate to say it's a part of the dating process. It's a part of the car buying process. Social media is a part of our lives. It's just there. I'm expecting it one day to become like a utility. Social media is there. So you can't say that somebody does something just for likes and shares and such of that nature. They might be really just passionate about politics. And really, I've met some people who are passionate about the Southland. Like, I had to step back, like, whoa. So, and they're not really, but they put out content. They're not, you would be hard pressed to believe that they're doing it for the likes and the views, because they don't get a lot of likes and views, but they have great content. So I don't think that, and I've heard this from other people as well. I heard it from Cassie Crashow. You treat the social media space, you don't respect it. I'm sorry. You have to respect social media is a part of our society now. People go to social media for a lot of things. They get their news from a lot of places. People get their news from social media before they go to the big evening news. So you got to be respectful of that and recognize people are not doing it primarily. Now, there might be some who do. I'm not saying that they don't, but there's some who do it because they really are passionate about this topic and they want to talk about it and they want people to know what's going on and they want people to be informed. Danasha seems very, very committed to the Dolton area in the Southland. Therefore, you're going to have to just go ahead and wrap your arms around, big guy, around social platforms because they're there and they're to your benefit and to your demise. But you can't just say that they're there and impugn the motives of the people that put out content. I don't think that's the right thing to do. Let's keep it moving. Let's go.
Passionate. I get it. But I don't live my life by how many people pat me on the back. And I'm not going to start living my life that way based on if you like me or not. Got a whole lot of notes right here. A whole lot of notes that I was going to share to keep me on track. I'm going to go ahead and close this book because those notes don't mean that I'm not speaking from the heart or that I'm not speaking from experience. But I just like the way this is feeling right now, getting the word out about where I stand and how I'm rolling and how I'm living and what I'm looking forward to. So I understand that people question the motive. I'd be surprised if people didn't. Who are you? What can you do for the village? What is your plan? Why are you running this race the way you're running this race? Why are you running this race with who you're running this race with? A lot of questions. My plan has been the same from day one.
Okay, I got to stop right here. And this is where I'm getting into at this stage of the game, just go ahead and just tell us what your plan is, man. Just assume that we never heard it. I don't hear any philosophy about debt. I don't hear your ideology about crime in Dolton, because you're going to be the one that's going to be making the decisions. I'm sorry, the mayor might be making the decisions, but y'all are going to approve them. So what's your philosophy on a chief of police or the firefighter's pension? Just tell us at this point. Don't because he's going to speak very, very ambiguous, extremely. This is a section where he gets in and it just gets super ambiguous. I don't know what you mean. I don't know what this is. And I fear that the people of Dolton won't know either. And again, I think he probably would be a good trustee because I think he probably would be a good trustee, truth be told. I just don't think that running with Cassie Crashout that's going to sullen his name for sure. But let's go, Jason. Let's go.
To be a person that can serve my community and bring solutions to the issues that are going on in Dolton. If you don't feel like there's issues that are going on in Dolton right now, then you haven't been watching the news or you really don't know what's going on in the Southland when it comes to these suburbs. I decided to move into Dolton because it was a great move for me to purchase property in that area. I like what I saw and I went for it, purchased some property. I decided to go out and volunteer for something in my community. I went, volunteered, tried to be a part of the Fire and Safety Commission, had an interview with several people. Hey, he'll be a great volunteer. Never got the phone call. I called out. Nobody answered the phone. And then I started to learn about what was going on in Dolton. I started to hear about all the stuff with the current administration. And it was confusing. I was curious. And then I started to hear the voices of the people. I decided, you know what? I live here now. I have some experience. Let me go ahead and throw my hat in the ring to help with any issues that anybody has going on in this community, because now I'm a part of the community. So that's how I'm rocking. That's what I'm thinking. And then I started hearing more and more about taxes, misappropriated funds, finger pointing, smoke, noise, the whole nine. And I said, you know what? Not only does this village need prayer, but it needs somebody who's really dedicated, concerned in the service of other people. Do you know about service, Danasha? Absolutely, I do. I know about service. I served my country for 20 years. United States Marine Corps, retired. Been all over the world. More than once, more than twice. Been all over the world. Been put in very, very, very uncomfortable situations. Kept my head up through it all.
Look, I got respect for the devil dogs. I got respect for the Marine Corps. All right. But sir, that doesn't mean you make a good trustee. What is it about you that makes you a good trustee? Because you were able to follow orders in the theater of war, which again, mad respect for that. Don't hear what I don't say. But sir, what about this role Because again, remember he said he served in other capacities before he came to Dolton. What did you do before you came to Dolton, sir? That's what we want to know. We want to know what you did that's germane to this case, was specific to this role and responsibility. Sure, you might have been a fighter pilot, but have you done things, made decisions in a political atmosphere, taking the experience of fighter pilot and put them into play in a political atmosphere? That's what we want to know, sir. Explain that to us, because I don't think he's not making it clear, and that's where. And again, the spoiler alert: he never does, and I don't think that's a good look. And mind you, the same argument that Cassie Crashaw used: well, because I served in the military, because I was in the Navy, I could be a mayor. No, the only thing that maritime law and mayoral candidate have in common is they both have M in the beginning of the word. But that's about it, ma'am. I don't see the correlation and the transference of skills from one to the other. Now, if you can explain it to me, then I could be persuaded. But ma'am, well, come on.
A lot of things that I didn't agree with concerning my Marine Corps. But guess what? I still served honorably, and I sacrificed. My family has sacrificed. And I'm okay with you being passionate about the village that you live in. But to try to check me, whether it's on social media or to try to check me about not understanding what service is about, is not the right move to make. It's not true about my intentions being not for the good of the community. Now, I'm not going to convince you otherwise to vote for me or not vote for me. If your mind's already made up, hey, I just hope that you make an informed decision and that you don't throw away your vote because it's the cool thing to do for the moment. It should be the right thing to do for the people. And this doesn't only go out to those who bash or talk trash or troll negative blogs. This goes out to the people that are running as well. So I've said time and time again, I'm nobody's yes man and I'm nobody's obstacle either. So at the end of the day, no matter what side of the aisle you're on, so to speak, I'll work with you if you're going to work with me concerning solutions for the people. If you want to get to know me, you know where I'm at. You've seen me out and about. You've seen me knocking on doors. I have the depth that is necessary to do a good job as a trustee. Now, call it campaigning right now? Nah, I don't really call it that. Because I've said over and over again, win or lose, when it comes to a seat, I'm not there for the seat, I'm there for the work. I'm there because of the people. I'm there because of the issues that are going on in the village really truly need to be addressed by somebody that wants to champion the cause based on service and not based on ego. I'm not going to be cussing out old women, and I'm not going to be signifying when it comes to somebody if they don't like me.
But your candidate, your co-candidate, your running mate has done those things. She's done negative videos. She's cussed out seniors. She signifies left and right. I don't understand. I don't get it. And again, I want to give Denasha Harrison as much grace as possible because I do think he's probably a good guy. I'm going to say that again. I'll fall on that sword. I think he's probably a good dude. But sir, you got to admit, I hope you can admit that your candidate, your colleague, your running mate is this person. She's the one. I hope you can admit that. But also notice he mentions all these things that are good for the people of the Southland. What are they? What are they? What is your philosophy about debt? That should be on the forefront of everybody's mind, Jason House included. What is your philosophy about debt? Because the Southland has a lot of debt. What is your philosophy on taxes? What's your tax code? What's your tax policy? What's your policy on business, starting business, vice businesses and bringing in vices into Dolton? Or are you trying to bring bookstores and churches? Or do you want to bring in strip clubs and liquor stores? Which one? What is your philosophy? At this point in the game, what is that? Because given the fact also that Denasha Harrison is only one guy, it's Cassandra and Denasha. So you can have one or you can have them both, or you can have none. So wouldn't it be wild if Denasha actually was elected a trustee? He had to work with these people. Well, sir, what's going to be your philosophy to work around? Because you're not going to have five other like-minded people. You have four other Democrats, trustees. And you're independent. How are you going to move with them? What's going to be your thought? I would love for him to really treat us like we don't know it and go ahead and tell us. Just go ahead and tell us. Because at the moment, I think that's probably the best way, given the fact there's only 5 or 6 days until the election. This is probably the best thing to do. Let me just tell you what I believe about a candidate for police chief. This is what we need. This kind of character. because this is what our police need. Because I've been out there talking to the police, and I know that they need training. I know they need moral support, and so we need a police chief that is efficient in training and is giving good support for these men and women that serve our community. That give us that, Mr. Harrison. Give us what we need, sir.
I'm not going to accuse you of anything contrary to what you're telling me it is if I haven't seen anything otherwise. And let me get a little bit more into that. If I'm being shown your capabilities or your limits, I'm not going to question those capabilities. I'm not going to question those limitations because I am not living your life. I'm living my own. Vice versa. If I'm telling you my capabilities, if I'm telling you my limitations, it doesn't matter what you think. What I'm telling you is what it is. And unless you got some facts contrary to that, then keep your mouth shut. Now, you may or may not keep your mouth on me. You may or may not keep your mouth off me. Hey, at the end of the day, it's about the people. At the end of the day, I'm going to say what's on my mind. I don't have to throw you under the bus. I don't have to lie about your character. I don't have to question your integrity for you to rock with me or for me to get a point across. Because that's a world that I don't have to actually involve myself in spite of what you think about me or what you think about why I'm doing what I'm doing. For those who have seen me, not just seen what you're looking at now, but for those who have seen me beyond this flesh, they know what I'm about and they know what I'm on. So it's going to be what it's going to be. Because see, here's the thing. Whether you win or lose a seat, that doesn't define what your purpose is to do for the people in the community. If you feel like it takes a seat to make a difference, then you shouldn't be running for any position because you're not in a position to help the people in your mind or your heart. You're trying to run for a position to get a seat so that you can have other people pat you on the back concerning what you claim you can or will do for the people, but you're in it for yourself because you ain't talk nothing about doing anything for the people. And I'm talking to everybody out there that's not in this for the right reason. Now, the difference between you and me is that I am. And if you're not, then I hope you don't win, no matter who you are. If you're not in this for the right reasons, I hope you don't win. And when I say win, I'm not just talking about winning a position. I'm talking about winning the hearts and minds of the people that you claim to be in the business of doing things for. I'm reiterating what I said before. It's not about winning or losing a seat. It's about the work. So guess what? After April 1st, if I don't win as trustee, I'm still going to be out there working with the people who really want to come up with solutions for the people that don't. That's what I'm on, and that's where I'm coming from. And for those who continue to question my integrity, you don't even know me. Some people think they know me because they've spent some time with me. See, that's interesting how...
Okay, let me stop real quick. What are you doing, Danasha? I'm not saying that you're not. All I'm asking is, what are you actually doing? Because if you don't win, you're going to still be out in the community. What are you doing? Are you helping with your HOA? Are you the small business administrator for your block? Are you head deacon at your church? What do you do? I'm not mad at you. I'm just asking, what do you do, sir, that you're saying that you're going to be doing more of after the April 1st election if you don't win? But then even more, like, what are you doing? What are you...
Again, I dedicate this show to my mother and my father. Rest in peace, Gregory Lee Harrison. Y'all taught me to rise above the bullshit. I'll pay the fine. Y'all taught me to rise above all the noise and focus on the purpose, focus on the reason, focus on the goal. And so when people question your integrity and feel like they could tell you about yourself and they don't even know who you are, at first you want to get angry, you want to get upset, you want to get maybe a little bit agitated, a little bit mad. Who do these people think they are? But in reality, these people need prayer. They need prayer. Now, there's a lot of different ways to pray for other people. And concerning me, when your mouth is on me, I'm praying on you. Positive, negative, anything in between, I'm not in control of how that prayer benefits or curses you. But I know what to put on you when you try to put something on me. So when you put your mouth on me, I'm putting prayer on you. And for those who have put their mouth on me, you know who you are. I don't have to call your name. That's giving you too much. If I'm calling your name, that's giving you too much. And I'm not going to do that. So I've never questioned your motive or your integrity or your purpose. I've listened to what you told me about why you want to do what you want to do. But you turn around and you question me about my motives, about my integrity. You question me about my health. You've seen the scars. But you question me. You tell me what my limitations are and what my capabilities are. You telling me about my limitations and my capabilities. You're not me. Be very careful about what you say about those that belong to God. Now, with that.
Okay. There's a misnomer, and we're not going to turn this into a Bible study, but that misnomer that touch not mine anointed, do my prophets no harm, that does not apply to critiquing somebody's political ideology or asking somebody about their fiscal policies. That's not it. Now, again, if people going into paint and talking about the dude, then yeah, that's probably a lap too far. I'll give you that. But I don't know. And maybe he does know. Maybe he has been attacked, way outside of just political ideology. Maybe that's the case. But I don't know why people keep bringing God up in here. Well, why God is not, I'm sorry. God is in the chat, but you don't got to bring God into the chat. You just don't have to. God, you did not need to make some comment about being a child of God and whatnot like that, because I can say I'm a child of God and I can still critique you. So we can just get into a spitting match like that. And it just looks kind of silly. I still just want you to point out what is one of his policies that he wants. And I'm noticing this trend. People don't give policy. They don't give any kind of ideology or philosophy on a topic. And this is I'm running on the Build Playground platform. We're going to build playgrounds all over Dolton. There's going to be a playground everywhere. There's these mega playgrounds. Okay, fine. Or make cops great again. We're going to be trying to get as many well-trained, well-educated, seasoned police officers on the force as possible. That's what we're going to do. Okay, that makes sense. But I don't know anything about your policies. And I think that's where we're missing it. That's where I think he's really missing the opportunity. Okay, let's let him go. Let's get done.
Addressing the person that I'm running with. We are not the same, but we talked about having the same vision for the village. We talked about accomplishing things that the previous administration, well, still current until April 1st, and the people that want to take over the seat had plenty of opportunity to do, and they haven't done it. 1 year, 2 year, 3 year, 4. So if you want to know why I'm running with the person that I'm running with, it's because we had a conversation a long time ago about our vision for the community.
What is it though?
Now, you may not like me concerning how I do things. You may not like her concerning how she do things. If you don't like me, let's have a conversation. If you don't like her, call her up and have a conversation with her.
What's the vision?
I don't mind being in the same boat as someone who has the same vision as I do. There's a lot of ways to skin a cat. All right, my name is Denasha Lee Harrison. Her name is Cassandra Hobson Jordan. If you want to have a conversation with Denasha Lee Harrison, call me up, look me up. You know where I'm at.
I'm glad you know your name, because she didn't know your name for a while. But Denasha, what is the philosophy? Because all we've seen from Cassie Crash Out is a very negative, nasty attitude. Now, she might have some great ideas. She might have vision for days. She might have 2020 vision into the future. Okay. But we don't know it because she's not giving us. She's only told us about how she doesn't like her signs being stolen. I see here that she's doxing a whole bunch of people on her Facebook page because they've said bad things about her. She didn't put all these people's information out there. That's not somebody I would want to be my mayor. If you think, look, as far as I know, I don't think Tiffany's ever done the stuff that I'm looking at on Cassie Crash Out's Facebook page right now. She just did it this morning. I'm sorry, sir. What is the philosophy that you have? I would love to know, because do you support what we're looking at right here, where she's literally doxing, giving information about people that have said harsh things about her on her Facebook page, and it says never, let's not forget, and wants people to attack those people? I'm just wondering, what is your philosophy that you support? Your vision that you support? Because the vision I'm seeing right here is somebody that will misuse the police. Now, she might not misusing to walk around with her in a 9-person detail. She might be sending these people out to do something harmful to people that disagree with her. Prove me wrong, because I'm looking at it right now in 4K. Denasha, this is not a good look, my guy.
But stop asking me about somebody else. She got a mouth. She got her own phone number. She got her own address. You know where to find her on Facebook. You know where to find her on social media. And she's put her number out there too. You want to ask why she does what she does the way she does, they give her a call. And I'm sure she'll tell you the same thing about me. You want to know about me? Don't call her. Call me. It's something called the source, y'all.
That's fine.
Go to the source.
Do you support that? Do you support that behavior then? Maybe that's the question I should ask. Do you support your running mate putting up people's information on her Facebook page? Do you support that? That would be my question then to you, Mr. Harrison, because I don't know anything else about you. I don't know any other policies, any other ideas or philosophies, anything else. What is your philosophy about education or youth empowerment or anything of that nature? I don't know any of that. So you tell me to look at your running mate and look at your running mate. She over here wilding out in Facebook. Okay, just wondering.
Your days and spend your time on things that really matter for the people, because all this noise, y'all wanted to get Tiffany out. I understand why. You've been living there longer than me. She's out. Now there's something called the general election April 1st. Don't turn your back to what's really going on in the totality of the situation. What do I mean by that? It takes more than one person to run a legislative body. And the Henyard administration is currently in power until April 1st, but she's not the only person that's a part of that administration. So don't turn your back on the facts based on who you rah-rahing for, when you should be putting the people of Dolton first. And if you feel like you are putting the people of Dolton first, that's your feeling, that's your vibe, that's your thing. Go with it, roll with it, rock with it. If you don't feel like I am the candidate to run and work with the people who really care for the village, then keep your vote. Keep your vote, because it's not going to stop the work. It's not going to stop the work. If you want somebody that's going to get in there and not be anybody's obstacle or anybody's yes man, somebody that understands service, believes in the power of the people, believes in putting coalitions together beyond the elections so that we can move as one, so that we can champion the same causes, so that we can get the yes somehow, some way, no matter what your way of getting the yes is, then punch number 7. Vote for me so I can take that seat and do the work of the people in that capacity. But if I don't get the seat, again, I'm still going to do the work of the people. So thank you, Heavenly Father. Thank you, Earthly Mother, Earthly Father, rest in peace, for raising me the way you did, because there's been a lot of opportunities that was very challenging concerning how I was going to move forward and tackle some things. But I understand the end game. See, if this was just about Denasha, then this would have been over a long time ago. If this was just about me and my feelings and my emotions, my pain, my struggles, then you wouldn't be listening to me talk about this right now. But I understand that it's bigger than me. I understand it's not just about how I feel. I understand that when God gives you a vision, he supplies the provisions as well. Dig that. He does. If you know anything about God, you know that he's not going to leave you hanging. And God has given me a vision, not just for my life, but where I live. And I don't feel like he's going to leave me hanging. Matter of fact, I know he hasn't left me hanging, because I've said it numerous times. It's not about the seat, it's about the work. So
it's not about the seat, it's about the work. And I can rock with that. What is the work that you're preparing to do, Mr. Harrison? I don't get it. I don't get, because this does not seem like he's laying out a platform. He's laying out what his philosophies are. And I keep saying, I'm gonna let him finish up though.
I want to share that with you. Thank you for listening. Again, I don't live my life by likes or looks. I don't make big announcements, and I'm not knocking people who eat by Facebook or eat by social platforms, but I don't make announcements all the time. Hey, in 2 hours, I'm going live on Facebook. Hey, in 1 hour, 30 minutes, I'm going live on Facebook. Hey, in an hour, I'm going live on Facebook. Hey, y'all, I'm going live in 15 minutes, 15 seconds. Here I go. No, I don't live my life by that. You catch the show, you catch the show. Same thing with intellectual radio. If intellectual radio was just about how the loudest, or who, made the most noise based on content for likes and dislikes, I really don't believe that intellectual radio would exist, because they wouldn't be genuine and they wouldn't be for the people. They give a variety of options to fit your daily life. They highlight the struggles that we go through, especially in the Chicagoland area. They do that. I believe that they're still here because they're righteous and they're genuine and they're caring for the people and caring for what content moves forward in your ears, in your homes, on your platforms. And so big ups to Intellectual Radio for giving me the opportunity to come here and say how I feel. Yeah, I can go live. I can go on other platforms. But I choose to come here because there's a vibe here that fits the narrative of why we do what we do. I care about the people. Else I wouldn't be talking about running for anything. And there's more things that I do besides talking about running for trustee in Dolton. That's not the only thing that I do in my life. There's other things that I do that I'm passionate about, and it's all people-centered, whatever that is. So I want to share that with you, and I want to continue to share this with you. Continue to post forward. You can comment. All good. Continue to do the things that you do. Shout out to Nate from back east. I always talk about Be Exposed Radio. I believe he's got his own thing going. But when we all met It was one sound, one step. There was a lot going on behind the scenes, but the content, it was beautiful how brothers and sisters got together and spoke their minds and talked about the things that mattered, So shout out to Nate and the rest of that team for doing what they do and doing what they did out there in Baltimore. Whether it's Baltimore, Chicago, Detroit, New York, LA, big cities, Houston, Miami, there's a certain thread that's alike with big cities where a big concentration of Black folks live at. And at the same time, these cities have their uniqueness as well. When you about the business of the people, you'll always be able to tap into the purpose. And if you're willing to do the work, then you'll be able to go in the right direction to get things done. So my hat is always off to the people that's taking care of the business and getting things done.
But what does that mean?
There's been a loss.
What is taking care of the business, getting things done? What does that mean? I'm not trying to be funny, but remember in the beginning, he said he had been in politics before he came to Dolton. Well, what did you do? What did you do? I was a highway commissioner. I was the chief dog catcher. I was on the school board. Small business administration president, block captain. I don't know. But what did you do to make you qualified to do this role? And I don't think this gentleman is getting to the point and really teasing that out. At this stage of the game, the election is here. Why should people vote for you? That's it. Explain to us.
In life, on the personal side of my family, on a personal level, I'm not going to throw out any names or situations because the family is grieving right now. But saw a brother, dapped a brother up, hugged a brother on Friday, and he lost his life yesterday, trying to defend his family. So peace and blessings to that family that has experienced the loss of life. And his mother is a praying woman. And one of the first things that came out of her mouth when me and my family found out was that God doesn't make mistakes. In that time of chaos and in that time of pain, she found God in that situation. God doesn't make mistakes. So shout out to that family. I believe that there's a lot of senseless things that continue to go on in the city of Chicago. Brothers and sisters need to come together and just stop the dumbness. Whatever your situation is, whatever your issue is, the answer is not loss of life towards another. I get self-preservation, but why do we get in these situations why we have to fight to preserve our lives? Let's take a look at the root of the situation. How did we get to where we are? Why are we staying where we are? The title of this is going to be, I think, Dolton election 2025, right? We talk about election. I just shouted out the family who had loss of life yesterday. You can relate these issues, relate these circumstances. A couple of weeks ago, I think it was a couple of weeks ago, or just sometime last week, early last week, a man was shot and killed in Dolton. And, you wonder why in a place so small. Just because you live in a small area doesn't mean that you don't have big problems, right? But what's at the root of it? Like, what's at the root of it? The folk that hate because they want their team to win. What's at the root of all that? What's at the root of people trying to take somebody else's life at the end of the day? What's at the root? What's the root cause? I have my opinion, and I believe that the root cause is just lack of self-love and lack of self-understanding. When you slandering somebody or you really want your own way when it comes to things and you really want to address things the way you feel like they make sense, you exclude a lot of other options. You exclude a lot of other people that have their opinions about how to move forward, how to get the yes together. So I will leave you with this. Try to love your neighbor as you love yourself. And if you don't know what it means to love yourself, then do your best to figure it out, because I don't want you to try to love me if you don't even know what love is. Keep that over there where you at. But get some help. Try to get to the root of why you're so angry, why you're so mad, why you're so visceral. Why would you even waste your time? Why would you spend your time down in others? Why would you spend your time trying to kill someone else, whether it's on your social platforms or whether it's their political career or physically taking somebody out of this world? Why?
Okay, I'm gonna say it again. I said it earlier. I think we have to separate critique from, terrible, trying to tear somebody down, because it does sound like to me that he's equating any kind of critique as being hateful or any kind of critique as leading to physical violence. No. And if he's not saying that, then don't put social platforms in there. Social platforms are a part of the fabric of society at this point. I don't think there's much that's going to change about that until Christ returns. It just is what it is. So you're going to work with social platforms. You're going to need to be able to tease this out a little bit, because this is how people are going to get news. This is how people are going to find out about candidates and all that kind of stuff like that. You literally told us to go to your candidate, your running mate's Facebook page. Because why? Because that's where they would get their information from her. See? So, matter of fact, this channel is on a social platform. It's not in a book. We're not printing it in a newspaper, my guy. You're literally on a social platform. So I don't think he should not attempt to besmirch social platforms while using said social platform. That's just a lap too far. Let's go.
I encourage you to self-examine yourself. Yeah, take a look at that. Try to figure that out. I think that's important. I would like to walk the streets whenever I choose to, without fear of being killed. I would like to walk the streets and really try to take concerns that are out there and turn those into solutions. I would really like to. So whether I can't feel 100% safe, I'm still gonna do the work. Whether or not I have 100% support, I'm still gonna come to the table and try to make a difference. So that's me though.
How do you do it though?
What about you? What about you? Are you willing to let go of all the hate, all the pain, this thing they call the pain train? Are you willing to get off the pain train and just do right? Stop talking about folks, stop signifying, stop plotting, stop planning to try to make somebody else's life miserable, and really take a look at doing the work of the people, for the people, because you're a part of the people. I know I am. I know that's what I'm doing. So, people are going to continue to talk, which is unfortunate. People are going to talk when I mean talk negative. I encourage you to use your voice and cast your vote or give your opinion. But people are going to talk negative. It's okay, because you can still rise above it all. If I can do it, then I know you can do it. So if you got people out there that's in different situations concerning you, talking about you, trying to determine, what your capabilities are, or trying to paint a narrative about you that's not true, please take a deep dive and understand that you don't have to stoop down to those levels that those other people are trying to bring you down to. Know who you are, know your purpose, stay focused, and continue to move forward for something that's greater than you. So thank you for allowing me to share that with you. This has been a joy. After Tuesday, after April 1st, we'll know what it is. And then guess what? I'll be here Wednesday speaking about how happy I am that this process has actually ended, the election process, and how happy I am to work with whoever's in office to get solutions taken care of for the people. So this is the Denasha Harrison Show here on Intellectual Radio. Thank you for joining me. And until next time, we will see you later. Please be good to each other. Thank you very much. Have a good one.
All right. So shout out to Denasha Harrison. I think he's a good man. I think he's a good guy. He probably takes good care of his family. He loved his mom and his dad. I need him to tease out his philosophies. And if I ever run for political office, God forbid, I would love for y'all to make sure that, like Jason, what is your philosophy in this office? What is your role? How do you work with other people? Those kind of things like that. And I just didn't get it. And so a lot of you have caught it. And that was my concern too when I watched this. I just don't think that there was no substance there. There was no substance there. And I don't think that I don't think he's a bad person. And I bet you, I'm going to go on a limb and say he probably has it teased out, but he just wanted to freestyle today. And this is something you do when the election is like 4 months into the future, not 4 days. Okay. This is something you talk about when I'm just starting. Let me just get this off my chest real quick. Let me just say this. And then everything else is just campaigning and explaining why you actually have a whole platform to talk about your campaign philosophy. I don't think Jason House has a show. Ed Steve, or for crying out loud, Tiffany didn't have a show that regularly uploaded content. That was 45 minutes, 35 minutes that he could have been talking about his philosophy on literally every episode. He could have been talking about, this week I'm going to be talking about my philosophy on crime. This week, I'm going to talk about my philosophy on small business, my philosophy on debt, my philosophy on what's going on in Springfield. He could have been doing that. And I think it would have been much more beneficial, much more advantageous to do that. But here we go. So I appreciate y'all so much for tapping in with me this morning.